other men with whom she'd worked or dated, too slick and sure of themselves, consumed with their appearance, terminally ambitious, and always pretending to know more than they did. Like Jeff Lowe, the young man practicing putting with Rich on the grounds of the Hamilton Princess. Marienthal was none of those things. He was big and tousled, a teddy bear type. His face was boyish, although she judged him to be in his late 20s or early 30s. His smile, too, was boyish, meaning it looked the way it probably had when he was a little kid, with a hint of mischief in it. Smiles change with age, she knew, but his hadn't. She liked it. This night in Irish Times, he wore a gray and red checked shirt, baggy chino pants, and a tan safari jacket frayed at the neck. Slightly tipsy, they decided to have dinner together, after which he escorted her home to her apartment on the fringe of Foggy Bottom. She hoped he would kiss her goodnight, which he did, lightly, like a campaign promise, without commitment. She hoped he would commit to seeing her again, which he also did, saying he would call the next day. He kept his word. "He's so gentle and kind, and really funny," Catherine told her sister back in Topeka on the phone that night. "And he's a writer, too. Very handsome in a rugged sort of way, but not macho, if you know what I mean. He's tall. I mean, a lot taller than me. I kidded that we'd have trouble dancing together. Know what he said? He said he'd install a little microphone in one of his shirt buttons and I could talk into it." She giggled. "Know what else he told me? He told me my glasses not only make me look smart, they make me look sexy." Catherine Jalick had worn big, round-shaped glasses since junior high school. She had never been happy about having to wear them, until this night. She and her sister laughed. Catherine's sudden acceptance of her black-rimmed glasses was symbolic of her acceptance of the large young man. 3 months later, she moved into Marienthal's apartment in the Capitol Hill district, a block from the bustling Eastern Market at 7th and C Streets, where they'd been living since, discovering more about each other every day and liking what they learned, haunting the market in search of fresh produce and honing their cooking skills for small dinner parties with friends, lazing in front of the small fireplace when the winds blew and ice covered the streets of Washington, D.C., and strolling the neighborhood on Sunday mornings, buying the papers and going back to bed, where they usually spent the rest of the day under the covers, catching up on the news, and with each other. She wrapped the white terry-cloth robe tighter around her against a chilled wind off the bay and continued to watch Rich and Jeff Lowe on the putting green. She couldn't hear their words, but she knew what they were discussing. How could she not? That's all Richard had talked about for the past year. He was consumed with it, driven. "I'm a man on a mission," he would often say when she questioned the long hours he worked on the book. She wished Rich hadn't gotten involved with Lowe, a pretentious sort if she'd ever seen one, and she'd seen plenty of them in Washington, D.C., basking in the reflected glory of their powerful political bosses, like secretaries to high-profile physicians who assume their boss's status and press it upon their patients. Meeting like this in Bermuda was Lowe's idea, silly cloak-and-dagger stuff, Catherine thought. She didn't like the influence Lowe seemed to have developed over Rich. The man she'd fallen in love with had been changing before her eyes since hooking up with the young Senate staffer, and not for the better. Marienthal looked up and waved, gave her that boyish grin. She returned the greeting and raised her glass. "Up in a minute," he yelled, and walked off the green with Lowe. They had dinner that night in the hotel's Harley's Bistro, a large modern room with huge windows overlooking the pool and Hamilton Harbor beyond. Rich, Catherine, Lowe, and Ellen Kelly, who worked with Jeff, but who was obviously more than that. They shared the same hotel room. Catherine wished she and Rich could spend a week alone in romantic Bermuda, but that wasn't in the cards. He'd been away for almost 3 weeks, returning to Washington from Israel only yesterday, and announcing they were flying to Bermuda to meet Lowe and Ellen Kelly, who'd already been there a few days enjoying themselves. Unsurprisingly, Lowe dominated the dinner.